Hey guys, so I literally just now got back from the cinema from seeing The Batman. I'm repping my Batman t-shirt. And I thought I would sit down with you and film a little review. It will be spoiler free, so please don't worry. I'm knackered because I've literally run up the stairs like, I need to talk about this film. Um, so yeah, this might be a bit of a jumbled mess. I might do another review when I've got my thoughts organised. But I am a huge Batman fan, as you guys know, so I had to go and see this film. I really, really, really enjoyed it. First of all, off the bat, I'll say that right now. I wouldn't go so far as to say I absolutely loved it right now. I definitely want to see it again though. So, so much to talk about. First of all, the runtime. So it's 3 hours long, 2 hours 55, I think, to be precise. I think it was a little bit too long. So I think I would have shaved maybe 20 minutes, half an hour off it. There were some scenes I felt were less important than others. So the runtime, a little bit long for me, but saying that, you couldn't tell how long you were sat there for. I think that it was very action packed, particularly at the second half. Um, it's going to be so hard to say this without spoiling anything, but I will try my best. And if you guys want a spoiler review, then please let me know. So, my thoughts. So, before I start with any of that, this film, The Batman, is a year two story in Batman's origins, shall we say, Batman's life. So, Bruce Wayne has only been as Batman for 2 years. He's kind of shirking his duties as Bruce Wayne to focus more on the Batman persona, the Batman side of him. And so you don't see a lot of Bruce Wayne in this film, you see a lot more Batman, which is kind of refreshing actually, because a lot of the more modern Batman movies, shall we say, which aren't necessarily modern anymore, you see quite a bit more Bruce, and sometimes Batman's a side character to Bruce, if that makes sense, even though they're the same person. But in this, Batman definitely was at the forefront of the story, and I appreciated that actually. So I really enjoyed Robert Pattinson's. Should we call him that from now on? I really enjoyed Robert Pattinson's portrayal of Batman. I know it was a controversial casting choice when first announced, and I do kind of understand, but I think that's because people have seen Robert Pattinson in other roles that, things like Twilight and Harry Potter and other things, which I do think he was good in, to be honest. But I think when you compare that to someone like Batman, people think, how's that going to work? How's he going to play that kind of character? And I think he plays him exceptionally well. For a young Bruce, a young Batman, you can really see how he's going to grow and how he's going to become the Batman that we know and love from the comics. Speaking of the comics, this story took a lot of inspiration, as we knew it would, from the comic stories, particularly The Long Halloween, which is one of my favourite comic stories anyway. So I really, really liked that. I can't say too much about the nods to The Long Halloween, however, because then we do go into spoiler territory. But it's so hard to do these reviews and not say what I want to say. Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle Catwoman, I absolutely loved. Um, I don't know if this is going to be a mini spoiler, but I don't think it's spoiler enough, so I'm going to say it. There was a character that was introduced with Selena, with Catwoman, um, who I don't understand why that character, and I'm not going to say what happened with that character, I don't understand why that character wasn't Holly Robinson from the comics. I think that character could have quite easily been Holly Robinson, who would be more recognisable to us that enjoy the comics. It's a minor nitpick, but I was expecting her to be Holly and she wasn't, so I was a little bit disappointed with that. But saying that, I thought Zoe Kravitz did a phenomenal job as Catwoman, and probably I would say she's my favourite Catwoman at the moment. Yeah, I would. I would go so far as to say I think she's my favourite portrayal of Catwoman. I love the Catwoman that we get in the Arkham game series, and I think Zoe Kravitz. I don't know if she directly took inspiration from that, but you can definitely see gleams of that Arkham Selena coming through with Zoe Kravitz. Let's talk about the Riddler. So, I knew this Riddler was going to be different from any other Riddler we've seen. It was clear from the trailers and everything else that he's a very dark, gritty, psychopathic version of the Riddler, rather than this suave character or gimmick character. We've had quite a few iterations of the Riddler throughout the time. I think back to, I hope I get this right, but Frank Gorshin from the Adam West Batmans playing Riddler. Then I think of Riddler from the Arkham games. Then I think of Riddler from the Gotham TV series. I was so frightened I wouldn't like this Riddler because Corey Michael Smith, who played Riddler in Gotham, my favourite Riddler hands down, I absolutely adore his portrayal. This Riddler is very, very, very different. I'm very sorry, I can't recall the actor's name off the top of my head. But I do really, really like it. Took a little bit of time to get used to this different version of the Riddler, but once I got used to it, loved him. Really, really loved him. The scenes nearer the end, phenomenal. There's a scene between the Riddler and Batman, which you kind of saw bits of in the trailer, so it's not spoilery, which I thought was played superb, excellent. The actors bounced off each other, it was fantastic. And then, of course, there was an end scene, which I can't say in this, but very, very excited for what that might lead up to in the future, because no doubt in my mind there are going to be sequels to this. There's no way they're going to leave it there. I think there's going to be more. So in terms of the other characters, I can't really say much about Andy Serkis's portrayal of Alfred because I don't feel like there was that much of him for me to give a good, review on that, to be quite honest with you. So I wouldn't say he was bad, I wouldn't say he was good either. Again, I can't help but compare to people like Sean Pertwee from Gotham, and I probably shouldn't compare, but that's what's always in my head. So I can't really give an analysis on Alfred in this movie. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we see more of him in the next movies, if there are any, which I think there will be. I really, really liked Commissioner Gordon in this. I can't remember his name. Jeffrey something. He was in, off the top of my head, he was Beatty in the Hunger Games, who I really, really liked. So seeing him as Gordon in this, I thought he was an amazing Gordon. The kind of chemistry between him and Batman, as it should be, it was phenomenal. Okay, so now we come on to the Penguin, Colin Farrell, who I've seen to see that everybody is liking the Penguin. I've seen a few reviews where everybody's saying they really like the Penguin. I didn't that much, and that's not anything on his performance. I think it was a great performance. Just a nitpick to me that I like the Cockney version of the Penguin, the Londoner, the gangster, and I just didn't get that feel from this movie. It's not the first time, of course, that the Penguin has been played American, so that's not really the issue. Just my personal taste. I like the more Cockney aspect of the Penguin. I like when they make him British. Am I biased because I'm British? Maybe, but I really like the Cockney aspect of the Penguin, and for that not to be here, I don't know. It's something that even Robin Lord Taylor in Gotham, again, I thought was fantastic in Gotham. But I really liked him as the Penguin, really, but I like more, if I refer to the Arkham game series, that version of the Penguin is my Penguin. So while I think Colin Farrell did a really good job, it just wasn't my Penguin. And he's kind of unrecognisable, by the way. I would not have said that was Colin Farrell if I didn't know it was. So I think he did a good job, but just not my Penguin, I'm afraid. And again, I'm going to say the same for Carmine Falcone in this movie, or Falcone, whatever you want to say. It's so hard for me not to keep harping on about Gotham and the Arkham games and everything else, but they really are my Batman stories, as well as the comics as well. I didn't really like Falcone in this. I've got to be honest, I didn't. Maybe he'll grow on me as I watch it a little bit more, but I just didn't get this imposing mob boss presence from him. In fact, I just thought it was quite flat. And I'm not saying the actor was flat, I just felt like him as a character was quite a flat, two-dimensional character. That might be, an unpopular opinion, but I just didn't think much to Falcone in this particular story. That's kind of all the main characters out of the way, I think. In terms of the story, again, I really, really liked the story. I thought the bits at the end were kind of unnecessary. The big thing that happens at the end. I personally didn't see a point to it, to be honest. I liked some things that they did with it, but I liked the baseline of the story running through. And then when a situation was resolved, it's so hard doing this without spoilers, I liked how the situation had resolved. And so when they did the bits at the end, I just felt like they were tacked on. It wasn't really necessary to me, but I do understand why they were there, why those scenes were there. But the whole big thing that happens, if I can say that, I just didn't find it too necessary for the plot. But I appreciate it, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is like really rambly thoughts, isn't it? But I've literally not thought of anything to say. I've just come up and just come back from seeing the movie and just wanted to talk to you guys. In terms of the visuals, fantastic. The Batmobile, I really enjoyed. Very, very loud, but I really liked it. The lighting, everything, the cinematography is just incredible. The fight scenes, the choreo is again superb. I particularly like a scene where the fighting was done, I think you saw bits of it in the trailer, the fighting was done mainly in the dark with only sort of gunshots that you could see, and I thought that was superb. I really enjoyed that. The music is an interesting one. So obviously we have Ave Maria juxtapositioned with Nirvana, and then obviously the Batman theme. So it was, I mean, I really like the theme as well, but I think I found it hard to get my head around the different clashes of music, but I appreciated it as well. So that's a little bit of a weird one. Because apart from those three I've just mentioned, I can't really remember any more of the underlying score. So it's a bit difficult to judge on the music and critique on the music. But I thought it gave it quite a timeless feel, if that makes sense, having a classical piece, then this running motif with Batman, and then more modern pieces ish. I thought that was quite interesting how that was done. Um, and really, that's about all I have to say, I think. I think that's like my big thoughts, and I know this is very, very rambly. There's no structure to this whatsoever. I just wanted to come and tell you what I thought. So let me know if you've seen the new movie, The Batman, what you thought. I particularly want to know what you thought of Robert Pattinson's portrayal, because I know that, again, that was quite controversial when it was first announced. And I was part of the slight skepticism crew, I will be honest, but I thought he did a phenomenal job. Yeah, just everything I thought was incredible, to be honest. And I'm not going to say right now where he ranks in my list of Batmen, but I think if I give it some reflection, he's gonna rank quite high. Put it that way. I don't want to say right now because I haven't formulated my thoughts, but I think given some time, I think he's gonna rank up there definitely. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman already does. She's pretty much way up at the top for me. Yeah. So that's it. So let me know if you guys want a spoiler review. I'll be sure to do that because I really want to talk about the scene at the end. You know which one I'm talking about if you've watched the film. And I also want to talk about a reveal that's done in the film that has quite big origins in the comics. Again, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've watched the film. So let me know, guys. Did you enjoy this film? If you haven't seen it, are you planning on going to see it? Let's talk all things Batman down in the comments box below. And again, I might do another video when my thoughts are formulated, when I can speak properly. So thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this kind of thing. And I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.